Hey, welcome to the Leadership Lab podcast, where we're developing the heart and soul of leaders. My name is Jeremiah.
And I'm Bianca, and today we're going to be talking about moving from a dream to execution. And so we want to utilize the dreams that we have in our hearts, but we don't want to keep it a dream. We actually want to do something with those dreams. And so today we want to focus on how do we move it from a dream to execution? And the answer is vision. We need to have vision for what that dream looks like so we can go in that direction. We've been running again the past few months, and so one thing that I know that's helped me running is looking for things that I can just focus on that really just inspire me. Today, the sunrise was like a cotton candy sunrise, and it was beautiful, and it distracts me from the pain. But yesterday, as I was running, I noticed that there was this gorgeous hot air balloon on Monday morning in the air. And so I was
Hot air balloon in Bolingbrook?
In Bolingbrook, in my neighborhood. There was a hot air balloon in my neighborhood. And so you better believe I saw that and I was running towards that. That was my vision. That was my goal. And I was going towards it. And can I tell you, as leaders, we need to be able to have something in front of us that we can call people so that they know where they're going to. They know what they're running after. And that's vision. Vision isn't rigid, but it is clear. And as leaders, it's our responsibility to make that vision clear so people know what they're running after.
I love Andy Stanley's definition of vision. I think it kind of gives us a place to launch from today. Vision is, according to Andy Stanley, a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by a passion for what should be. So let me say that again. It's a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by a passion for what should be.
That's good.
And as leaders, casting vision, talking about where we're going, you got a group of people, a team, a church, an organization, whatever it is, and you're saying to these people, hey, as the leader, this is what we're here to do. This is the mission we're here to accomplish, and this is what it's going to look like once we arrive there. Andy Stanley says it's the win. How do people know if we're winning or not? They've got a clear picture of what that vision looks like. And that's so important as leaders because it's what motivates people. Vision is the great motivator. It's the thing that moves people towards something. It's saying, hey, I'm the leader. I've got a vision and we're going somewhere together. There was a guy in the Old Testament. His name is Nehemiah. You can look, there's a whole book about this man named Nehemiah. And he got a vision to repair the broken places in the wall in Jerusalem.
Yes.
And he assembled a group of people. He shared the vision. I'd like to repair the broken places.
Yes.
And he assembled people, got them together, got the resources that were needed, and he led people forward. But one thing that's very interesting in the story about Nehemiah's leadership is that there was some opposition that was there. And so the people who were working on the wall, they actually had this moment where they had the tool that they were using to build the wall in one hand, and in the other hand, they had a weapon that they could fight off those who were trying to distract them from the call that's on their lives. And as leaders, especially leaders in the local church, I think this is a great picture for us because we've got to remember that the people that we're leading, they've got lives going on. They've got things going on. So although you as a leader might be thinking about your vision all the time, the people who you're leading, they're constantly being bombarded by things that are trying to distract them from what you're trying to do. Things called life, and you have to continually cast that vision over and over because remember, vision is a clear mental picture. And I think that so many leaders have problems with keeping that vision in front of people and making it clear.
That's so good. And if you find that your leaders are starting to disengage, I mean, we're in a unique season right now with COVID going on. There's so many people I find that are detached and they don't really understand what the vision is. As leaders, we take responsibility to say, what can I do to be clear about the vision and remind people that what we're all a part of truly is making a difference, so that when those attacks come and when those distractions come and we put the hot air balloon in front of them and say, look, we are making a difference. Lives are being changed by these different things. It re-engages people and it invites them into doing something not just for today, but something for eternity. And it's so important as leaders that we make sure we're being super clear about what that vision is and not just assign tasks, but instead show people how it truly is impacting lives. And so I want to talk about 4 ways that we can move from a dream to execution with this vision idea. The first thing is state the problem. State the problem. What's the problem? What is the problem around us that we need to address and that we can be a part of? Right now, we want to see more and more people come to know Jesus because there's so many people that are living in darkness. They're living without hope. And we have this hope that we get to share with people. And so that's the problem right now. And we want other people to be a part of it. The next one is propose the solution. And so as leaders, we need to say, here are some ways, here's the vision, here are some ways that we're going to get to this vision, and this is how you can be a part of it. And then the number 3 is make it urgent. So the questions we need to ask is, why do we need to do this?
That's so good.
And why do we need to do this now?
Yes.
Why is this not something we need to wait till tomorrow or next week or next year? Why? Because souls are on the line.
Yes.
And when we have a heart for what God has a heart for, then we will go out and we will sacrifice even today and be a part of it and saying, we can't wait another day. I need to be a part of this. And then the last thing is build a team. Nehemiah was brilliant at building a team around him. He couldn't have done that on his own. And so he had the right people around him to accomplish the vision that God had given him.
So let's recap this again, because I think we need to hear this. Vision is always an answer or a solution to a problem.
Yes.
And so you've got to bring the problem out. Nehemiah brought the problem out. He said, hey, look, there are broken places in the wall. God's city is not secure. We need to do something about it, and we need to do something about it now. So think about your vision. Think about your team. Think about the people you lead. Are you making this urgent appeal that's impassioned because you're saying, hey, look, we got to see what could be and why it should be.
Yes.
I've heard it said that we should always start with why. It's what motivates internally people to get involved in a grand vision, is because they understand the why behind it. And you can't ever retire the why. You got to bring the why up again and again and again.
Yes.
Repeat it regularly, because it is the thing that is going to drive people to be a part of your team, to be a part of your vision, and to make that happen. Remember, as leaders, the vision has to be clear because we're making it clear. Listen, we don't ever blame the people following us to say, hey, how come you weren't listening? Listen, if the vision is not clear, it is the sole responsibility of the leader to make sure that it becomes clear.
That's right.
It needs to become memorable. It needs to be something that people can repeat to other people and they can say it. It needs to be portable. It needs to be something you can carry along with you, something that can be moving from person to person to person. I think it's better to have an incompletely stated vision than to have something that's so eloquent but nobody can remember it. Have something it's not even a sentence. That's not even a complete sentence. What are you talking about? That's the vision. Fix the wall.
That's right.
I mean, there you go. We're fixing the wall here, you know?
Yes.
You got to make it simple, memorable, portable,
yes,
something that other people can repeat.
Yes.
And it's got to be remarkable. It's got to be something that's got some bite to it. Something that's got some. One of the ways that you do this as a leader is you tell stories with the vision.
That's good.
So you start bringing up people. And Nehemiah, I can see him doing this, and he's walking around the wall, and he goes back to people and he says, hey, I want to tell you about Frank Frank was a man, and he just goes into Frank's story, and all of a sudden it just gripped your heart, and you're saying, I need to be there to build the wall to protect people like Frank and his family from further attacks on their lives. That's how you, as a leader, make that thing clear and bring it up again and again and again.
And you know, one thing that I've heard is as soon as you feel like you're actually getting tired of talking about the vision, your leaders usually are just now getting it.
Just now.
Just now. So if you think that you've said it enough until you feel like you've exhausted yourself, like I talk about this all the time, just realize that people are playing catch up. That's how vision works, because vision leaks.
Yes.
Because people have this, and they've got kids, and they've got groceries, and they've got to go to work, and they've got this deadline, and they got to get to service, and they've got to do all these things. And so when you say the vision one time in that 10-minute span, 3 weeks from now, poof, it's gone. And so that's why it's important that you put it in front of them, you say it to them. It's something that's part of the language and the culture, and that it's intentional. And unless they can repeat it back to you, until you hear them praying it, until you hear them saying it to other leaders, you know what the vision is? It's XYZ. Until that is done, we've not said it enough. And once again, it's not bombarding people with this. We believe that this is something that we would lay our lives down for because it's making such a huge impact. And so continue to figure out ways, and God will give you that clarity. That's something that I always pray is, God, give me wisdom, give me clarity, give me things that I can share this vision with my team so that they feel like, okay, this is what it is, and this is how I know how to get to that vision. And it's a journey. You know, I saw that hot air balloon and it was far away, and the closer I ran, I could see it a little bit more clearly. And so as leaders, as we're getting towards the vision, we need to remind our team of, hey, we're getting there. This is what we've accomplished. So encourage your people. Hey, we've done this. This life has been changed and transformed. And all of these things are great reminders of we're in this together and we're accomplishing something greater than ourselves.
And so the vision that we have here at this house of worship, Living Water Community Church in Bolingbrook, is that we want to see people know God, find freedom, discover purpose, and make a difference. During the coronavirus time, we've installed new wall art, and we've incorporated our vision statements inside that wall art. We talk about it frequently. We do message series around it again and again and again. We show testimonies, or what we call Living Water stories, where people are actually living it out. And we're talking about it all the time, because guess what? We've got one of our vision statements is to find freedom, and that's really found in our small groups. Yeah. And we've got people who come here who would say, this is my church, and they're not in a small group yet. We've got some work to do still. We've got to make the vision clear.
Yes.
We've got to make it something that's convincing enough for people to rearrange their whole lives so that they can be a part of something that is going to be transformational in their life.
Amen. And so when you can see that, when you know what the vision is very clearly, and then you see the gaps of where the people are, that's where we as leaders can take responsibility and say, okay, how can I strengthen this infrastructure so it's a clear pathway for all of us to go through this vision? Man, I've so enjoyed this conversation today. We'd love to hear what God is speaking to you, how your team is growing, how your leadership is developing, how your heart and soul is doing. So make sure you leave a comment, share this podcast with somebody that wants to grow in their leadership. And I love being on this journey. Both of us do. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week on our next episode.